Good evening, everybody. This is Jeff J. Brown's China Rising Radio Sinoland in Shenzhen, April 13th. This is a very important article and podcast. I strongly recommend that you get back to the source article, as it does have bunches of noteworthy hyperlinks for you to follow up on after you hear or read this. The title is Trump threatening to attack North Korea? Or is it a Sino-US-NK menage a trois dance? Here we go. I was very disappointed that China only abstained in yesterday's United Nations Security Council resolution to persecute Syria and its president Bashar Assad for the likely false flag perpetrated by the West's proxy ISIS army. That would be the alleged supposed chemical attack that supposedly killed 72 kids. There were surely discussions between Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and his good friend and Chinese counterpart Wang Yi before the vote, with Russia vetoing it. I think several factors are at work here. Chinese President Xi just got back from his citrus summit with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, Florida. There were surely some quid pro quos promised. Syria is in Russia's home court. Korea is in China's. Vetoing with Russia may have violated an agreed quid pro quo with Trump. Korea is hot right now, with the North continuing to test their missiles and the U.S. installing THAAD, the missile defense system. Also for Russia, the demonization, hysteria, propaganda, Orwellian media lies, and outright hatred of all things Slav cannot get any worse. Thus, I think the Russians told the Chinese that it was not necessary to burn a Diplo chip when the West is so fanatically and rabidly insane anyway. Bolivia also joined Russia in the no vote, and China, Ethiopia, and Kazakhstan abstained. That is essentially 5 of the 15 Security Council members not voting with the West. Just 6 weeks ago, China joined Russia to veto another Western kangaroo court UNSC resolution demanding that Assad step down, as well as against sanctions, on February 28th. These two brothers-in-arms also vetoed a third Western Monty Python resolution in December. They have been jointly vetoing Western propaganda resolutions going back to the beginning of the Western-instigated civil war in Syria in 2012. So the Chinese's abstention in this week's Syrian vote has to be put into proper historical perspective. And just today, no joke, Trump is threatening to attack North Korea. Xi is continuing to play it low-key, but with Trump changing his words and deeds like the wind, who knows? Yesterday's quid pro quos may be old promises after just 1 week, which is very un-Chinese indeed. Let's also hope that Trump gets the story straight about the Chinese supposedly amassing troops on the North border, which is the kind of psyops propaganda that the CIA excels in. The situation on the Korean Peninsula has gone from dull to exceedingly dangerous in a hurry. Xi cannot afford to be distracted by Syria right now, which is Russia's core interest, nor give Trump any pretext to bomb North Korea. Here is my hopeful scenario. Like the bogus charade U.S. bombing of the Syrian airbase this week that was set up to make Trump look imperial and in charge, the same kabuki theater could be playing out in a menage a trois with Trump, Xi, and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un playing out a carefully scripted choreography. North Korea just announced to the West to expect something big. Japan is doing its part as Colin Powell at the United Nations, holding up a vial of talcum powder, claiming it was a nerve agent which ushered in America's failed invasion and occupation of Iraq, except now it is Prime Minister Shinzo Abe barking about sarin gas-tipped chem missiles. Trump just announced that he is backpedaling on one of his big campaign promises to declare China a currency manipulator. There is one half of a quid pro quo. We could have a repeat of a Syrian airfield stunt where North Korea has plenty of time to vacate a military target. Trump lobs some missiles into the Potemkin targets, being a national hero for standing up to those menacing red gooks north of the 38th parallel. Kim pounds the drums of war, scaring the bejesus out of the whole region, while bolstering his standing with his citizens. China plays the white hat and rides into the domestic rescue to calm everything down and prevent a war. America can convert more golf courses in South Korea into military bases and occupy even more land. All three countries get to satisfy their hawks by signing rafts of military arms contracts. All this to make Trump look like a global Caesar, saving the free world from crazy commies. As she would say, it's win-win-win. Don't laugh. This is not as far-fetched as it seems. False flags are how humanity has been manipulated and controlled for thousands of years. But as in the past, it is fraught with danger, as the slightest deviation from the script could see it all unwind into a serious conflagration. If true, I have full confidence in China's end of the bargain, as well as its control over North Korea. That makes 2 out of 3 dancers pirouetting with safe hands. The U.S.? That's the crazy wild card nut job partner we should all be worried about. Unlike Xi and Kim, Trump is not in control of his military. Then again, maybe Trump is enthralled with all of his new killer military toys and drunk with the power of the American presidency. We will find out one way or another sooner than later. Time to button up your bungholes for an anus-clenching false flag or geopolitical, in parentheses, miss, end of parentheses, adventure. Yeehaw! Ride 'em, cowboys! This is Jeff J. Brown, China Rising Radio Sinoland, signing out for another article and podcast. Good night.